Hey guys, welcome. Joe McCall here. Hope you're doing awesome. And I'm excited about this little class I'm going to be doing here. I thought today I was just going to share and teach the steps on how to do a vacant land deal. And I'm doing this for a couple selfish reasons. Number one, actually, I want to help more people do vacant land deals. I don't feel like I know this is the easiest way to get started in real estate today. I've done a lot of different kinds of deals. I've done house deals, right? Cash deals, rehabbing, fix and flip, buy and hold, landlording, subject tos, lease options, owner financing, regular bank, traditional financing, all of that stuff. And it's awesome. There is a place for that. There is a place for houses. There's a lot of advantages to doing houses. But if you want to make faster, easier cash and cash flow, piles of cash and streams of cash, I want to talk to you about land investing because in my humble opinion, this has been the easiest and fastest and best way to do deals. I have students that are doing deals faster and bigger deals with vacant land. Why? One big giant reason. A lot less competition. There's just not as much competition for vacant land as there is for houses. We're doing direct mail. I just had a client text me this morning. They're getting right now, so far a week into their direct mail campaign, a 3.2% response rate for vacant land. All right. Postcards, 3.2%. Now, if you've ever done direct mail for houses, you know you're lucky if you get a half of 1%. And so by the time this campaign's done, he's going to be getting 4 to 5% response rates. Now, there's a lot of junk leads, obviously, that come into that, right? But I'm telling you, the response from our offers, from our direct mail, is 3-4 times greater than what we get with houses. Our direct mail response rates are way better, and the offers. So the way my numbers work, it's very, very simple. I'm going to be walking through all the steps here in a minute, but it's very, very simple. We send cheap, ugly, boring postcards out for like 65 cents a postcard, first class mail. And then we send them all to a voicemail. The voicemail comes in. We listen to the voicemail. Sometimes we call them back. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just send them an offer. And we get one. If we don't talk to the seller first, we're getting about 1 out of every 30 offers accepted before even talking to the seller. And then if we do call the sellers first and talk to them, we get about 1 out of every 15 to 20 offers accepted. Now, in some markets, we've gotten as great as 1 out of 10, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 offers accepted. But that's because we're negotiating with them over the phone. We're not sending as many offers. And so we're kind of doing some sales on the phone first. Does that make sense? So I always recommend talking to the sellers. But here, bottom line, it's a numbers game. That's the beautiful thing about this. And you cannot do this with houses. You can't send 30 offers without talking to sellers for a house and expect to get one accepted. You can't. And we're making offers at like 30 to 40 cents on the dollar. At the most, 50 cents on the dollar on more expensive property. It's a numbers game. And so we know if we make 30 offers, we're going to do a deal. It's as simple as that. And so that's what we do. We send out marketing to get leads to call us because sellers, again, they're much more detached from the vacant land. They haven't been there in 10 years, right? And we only send mail to people who have owned this vacant land for over 10 years who live outside of the county. So many times they just don't care about the property anymore. They're done with it. And so we send them simple, effective marketing, get them to call, listen to the voicemail, send them an offer, and we know it's a numbers game. You get 1 out of every 20 to 30, accept our offer. So can you do that in the evenings while you have your full-time job? Can you do that on the weekends? Yes. This is very, very part-time. And I'm not making any income claims here. I'm not trying to make any income claims here. But with my boys, I made this so simple. My sons and I did over $150,000 in profits doing this very, very part-time over the span of a couple of years. I'm not promising that's going to be the same for you. That's just what we have done. And so I'm going to walk through those steps right now. And I've got a few cool things I want to give to you as a free gift if you're interested. All right. I was in the Bahamas a couple months ago with my wife for our 26th anniversary. While we were flying home from the Bahamas, on the plane, I wrote a book. Well, I'm going to give that book to you for free. Now, it's still in a rough draft. It's 90% of the way there. But if you want the book for free, joemccall.com/IC1. I want to give you this book for free. And the reason I'm doing this is because when you opt in to get the book, it'll be sent to your email. Then on the next page, this is what I wanted to show you. I have a little video talking about my inner circle. And this is something I'm so excited about this because I am starting to do more deals with my students and friends and clients. And so what I have here in this inner circle, I'm going to give you a $1 trial for 7 days. Then it's $97 a month. But you get free buyer, seller, and realtor leads, up to 5,000 free leads a month. So you don't need PropStream anymore. You get my Automated Offer Pro software for houses and for land, and it gives you multiple offers. For houses, it gives you cash, lease options, and owner financing offers. For land, it gives you cash and owner financing offers. I have a brand new CRM I've created called First Deal CRM. This is basic, simple CRM. It's not FreedomSoft. I recommend you get FreedomSoft. This will help you get to your first deal. And after you get your first deal and you start making some money, then you can get FreedomSoft if you want. I'm giving you 10 free due diligence and free comp reports every month. I'll buy your deals if you want for $5,000 if you just want to sell them to me. And I'll also sell your deals 100% done for you. So if you've got a good land deal, and this is what I want to talk about. So I don't know. My mind is buzzing right now because I just got off the phone an hour or two ago with some private investors, and I have access to virtually unlimited amount of money. Not really, but yeah, a lot of money, where I want to buy more deals and partner with you on deals. So if you get a deal, let me just talk about this. This is so cool. If you get a deal under contract, and if you're a student, and to become a student, just get my book for free right here, joemccall.com/IC1, and then sign up to become a $1 7-day trial into my inner circle. You get leads, you get software, and I haven't even talked about this yet. There's group coaching and my community Facebook group. I'm doing 2 coaching calls a week in this group. But anyway, just check it out. Get my free book, joemccall.com/IC1. All right, this is my pitch. I want to do more deals. So if you get a deal, bring it to me. If it's a good deal and it meets my minimum criteria, which I teach you how to do in the book, and I'm going to teach you how to do this right now in this video, I'm going to actually buy the deal. I'll fund the deal. I'll close on the deal, use my own money. So now you don't have to go to the sellers anymore and say, and ask for 90 days to close and then hope you find a buyer in 90 days. All right. I'll actually fund the deal. I'll close on it. And my team will list the property. We'll take care of all of the work with selling it. We'll hire the realtor. We'll do the survey if it needs to be done. We'll do the perk test if it needs to be done. If it's a good enough deal, we'll even clear out the brush and stuff like that. And we will do all the work of finding the buyer and selling the deal. So we can close in 30 days. We'll just close on the deal. We'll buy it in 30 days. And then we'll turn around and sell it, and you and I will split the profits 50-50. Now, if you have my program, I'm going to teach you how to do these deals all on your own from beginning to end. But I'm taking away all of I'm so excited about this because I'm trying to just make this as easy as possible for all of you guys to do deals. And if you get into my inner circle, again, joemccall.com/IC1 to get the book, and then get a $1 trial into Inner Circle, okay? I'm going to actually help you. I'll teach you how to do the deals through the book. You bring me the deals. I'll provide the money. Now, why on earth would I do that? It's simple. I want to do more deals, and we're going to split the profit 50-50. So you guys are going to be my marketing machine. You guys will be doing the marketing for me, bringing me the leads, and we'll split the profits 50-50. On average, you're going to be making 10 grand. I'm going to be making 10 grand on a good deal that meets my minimum criteria, all right? But we take all the risk. We take all the risk. And now we can close in 30 days. So when we turn around and sell it, we actually own the property. Cool? And there's one other thing that we can do here, and this is what I'm so excited about. If we wanted to, because I have now more private money than I know what to do with, we can actually close on the deal, if it's a good enough deal, right? And then turn around and sell it with seller financing. So my funders we will fund the money either short term, like 3-6 months, whatever we need to sell it, or we'll fund it for 7 or 8 years. Do you see the awesome power of this? And so now you can create kind of an infinite return on your money. You can buy these deals with none of your own money. And if you decide you want to sell it with seller financing, you're going to obviously have a payment that you pay every month to me and my private investors, but you're going to be selling it on a payment every month. So you might be selling it on $700 a month. You'll be paying $200 a month. So you'll be making about a $500 a month cash flow on that deal. Let me just explain more what you get as part of my inner circle. So we're going to give you the leads. We'll give you buyer, seller leads, and realtor leads from homes.com for older listings. You get my offer software that helps you evaluate deals. It's like having me behind you over your shoulder, helping you evaluate deals and coming up with offers. For land and for houses, multiple offers. For houses, cash, lease options, owner financing. For land, cash, and owner financing. If you can't afford or can't swing Freedom Soft yet, you can get my first deal CRM. And it'll help you do your first deal. It's included. We'll give you 10 free comp reports and due diligence reports for every deal you get under contract. I will buy your deals for $5,000 if you just want to sell them to me. Or I'll partner with you, 100% done for you. If you have a good deal, you don't want to do any of the work of selling it, our team will buy it and sell it for you, and we'll just split the profits 50-50. Also, we do free transactional lending. If you just need the money for one day, I have a client, Zach, right now that's using this. So if you just need the money for one day, you already have a buyer lined up and you have the seller lined up and you close on the same day, we'll provide the funding for that A to B, B to C closing. All of my documents, we do new trainings every month. We call them execution plans on different real estate strategies. I have some massive marketing discounts if you want to use other companies for direct mail, for Freedom Soft, for cold calling VAs, virtual assistants, and things like that. We provide tech setup and team support. I do weekly group coaching calls, and I've just started. So those group coaching calls are going to be on Thursdays where I answer all of your questions. And if you can't make it live, you can submit your questions in advance and I will answer them. And I just started a new one on Mondays where I'm going to be reviewing deals. I'm calling it Deals, Deals, Deals. And I'll review all of your deals. So weekly deal reviews, awesome community to network and collaborate, and scorecard coaching. And you're going to get a Flippin' Land t-shirt and mug. And if you sign up soon, this is a limited time bonus. I'm not sure if this will still be here when you're looking at it, but I'm going to give you my wholesaling lease options training for free as a limited bonus. Shall we jump into the steps on how to do vacant land deals? Okay, finally, Joe. Yeah, just get to it. All right, here we go. This mind map is from a Saturday workshop that I do every Saturday. And if you want more information on that, just go to joemccall.com/Saturday. It's a $7 workshop that I do where we're going to go into a live market and start making offers. What are the steps? We got to pick a good market. And the way that I like to do that is I like to just go to landwatch.com. It's kind of where I start. And I want to just see, what am I looking for? I want to see, where is all the activity? Where are people buying land right now? Where is all the interest? And so you can see just by Landwatch is owned by land.com, and it's just the main websites that people go to buy and sell land. And so you see Texas is a big state, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, California, Tennessee, Arizona, South Carolina, etc. And so those are the best states. Do you want to do deals in District of Columbia? No, there's only 30 of them there. Should you do deals in Hawaii? Maybe. I mean, Hawaii is a great market, but there's not a whole lot of activity there. Indiana, maybe. Look at so Maryland, no. Massachusetts, no. Now you can do deals there, but it's just like, maybe it's not as easy. Michigan's a great market. Missouri, there we go. We're doing some deals in Missouri right now. New York State, maybe. North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina. So when I do, and we're looking at all of the states, if you click see less, it ranks these by number of transactions that are being advertised right now. But I'm going to go down a little bit, and I'm also going to check off solds. So these are not solds from county records. These are properties that were marked as sold on the land.com websites. Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, California, Tennessee, Missouri are the top 8 states. Now, I'm not saying everybody should go into the number one or number 2, but let's look at some of the others, maybe 3 or 4. or 5, you know, like let's look at Georgia, for example. Let's just click on Georgia. This is a starting point again. And I only want cheaper properties. So let's say we want everything under $200,000. I don't want the big, you know, multi-million-dollar houses and mansions and stuff like that. So in the state of Georgia, right, there are 14,000 listings here. And the cool thing about this is now I scroll down and I can see what are the most popular regions. The historic South region, Mountains region, Blue Ridge, I don't know what all of these, but look at these counties. Here we go. Gilmer, Union, Camden, Pickens, Fulton, Bartow, blah, blah, blah. So there are, I don't know, 100 counties, 80 to 100 counties in Georgia. We just want to focus on the counties with high demand. So one of the things I like to do then is I like to just go to Zillow. And let's look at Gilmer County, shall we? All right. Gilmer County, Georgia. Sheet of paper right here. And let me put it over here. And I'm just going to write this stuff down, right? Gilmer. And we're going to look for how many vacant lots are available. Let's just look at everything under 200 grand, okay? And I'm going to go here and reset all my filters just so we're looking good here. All right, I want only land. And we're looking at for sale first. I'm looking at land. Cool. We're just going to look at current active listings. And make sure days on Zillow is any. Oh, and let's do price, remember? 200 grand. Okay, look. In Gilmer County, I'm going to write this down as 2 columns. One is actives, and the other one is solds. Okay? Actives, 613 active listings. Then we're going to go here to solds. And then we're going to look at the last, let's just do 9 months. All right, 90 days. All right, 124. And then we're going to do a ratio. Now, this ratio, there's no magic formula. There's no magic numbers to this. But we're just doing this to compare, all right, how many solds to active listings are there? So the more solds and the fewer actives, maybe the better, right? Because that means there's just not as much competition possibly for these deals. Let me say one other thing too. You could, if you wanted to, like one of the things I'm pivoting more towards now are bigger deals. Like you can still make money on cheap deals, but there's a bigger spread and it's the same amount of work. So why not go after the bigger deals? So if you wanted to, when you're doing all these research and stuff, you could say minimum size property is right here, lot size. You could say minimum 1 acre. But I'm not going to worry about that right now because all we're doing is looking to see what are the most active counties. So then if I get a calculator, 124 divided by 613, right? So that's a 20% sold to active ratio. 0. What did I say? 0.20. 0.20. So is that good or bad? I don't know. Don't know yet. Union County. All right, let's look at Union County here. Boom. Union County, Georgia. And we're making sure, you got to make sure every time you do this that your filters are still in place, okay? There's 84. I'm going to write down Union. Under solds, there's 84. Now we're going to look at actives, right? Let's go to for sale. And we have to do a few more things here, right? We have to remove that, and we have to say days on Zillow, any 362. All right, so our sold to for sale ratio for land under 200 grand in Union County is 84 divided by 362. Whoa, let's start all over again. 84 divided by 362 is 0.23. So is that better than 0.2? Yeah, a little bit. Next county is Camden County. And we're only going to do this for a few of them here. I just want to show you kind of what we're kind of doing here. Camden County, Georgia. 268. I'm writing this down. Of course, you could use a spreadsheet. 268 actives. Now let's look at solds. 41. So what's our ratio there? 41 divided by 268.15. So does that mean it's a bad county? Yeah, but there's more as a percentage, there's more active listings than sold listings, but there's still a lot of solds there. So I'm not saying it's a bad county, right? Let's do Pickens County next. Pickens County, Georgia. Now, when we're picking land, I just want to emphasize again, you do not have to pick just one county. We're looking for 5 or 10 counties, okay? Because we're going to be going deep. We go an inch wide and a mile deep. But people make the mistake of over-analyzing this, like they have to have the one best county. But we're just looking for 5 counties. So I want to get the 5 best ones, and we might have them right here. Pickens County has 47 solds. Cool. Let's look at actives for sale. We have to make sure we're looking at the same things now here. Any. Apply. 329. All right, so what's that ratio? 47 divided by 329 is 14. All right, you see that? We have those 4 counties. We have Gilmer County has 124 solds, Union 84, Camden 41, Pickens 47. The main number that I care about is the solds right there. That's the main thing I care about. So what I'm going to tell you to do is you should go through and do this for 20 or 30 counties. 20 or 30 counties, okay? And then pick the top 5 counties that have the most solds and the best sold to active ratio. And the higher number, the better. Right? Because that means there's more solds compared to the active listings out there. That means there's a higher demand. So now what do you do? Well, good question. I'm glad you asked. You go get my book, because my book tells you what to do next. joemccall.com/IC1. Now that we've got our list of counties, let's pick Pickens. How about that? We'll pick Pickens County because it just sounds like a cool name. Where is Pickens County? And I'm here on Zillow. It's kind of north of Atlanta. I like rural communities that are about an hour, 2 hours outside of the city, because I like selling vacant land to recreational users, if that's okay to say that, right? Because these are for people that live in Atlanta and they're like, I just want a place where I can get out. You can go take our 4-wheelers, go ride our RVs and get some land. And look how beautiful this land is out here, right? Like 4.8 acres for 50 grand. There's hills. It's beautiful. There's these rivers. It's just kind of away from everybody. And, it's a place where they can go and just recreate. But here's an 10-acre property for 90 grand. It's been on Zillow for 134 days, but look at these views. Man, I could sell land out here all day long. And the great thing about this area too is there's a lot of unrestricted land. Unrestricted land means there's no HOAs, and so you can do whatever you want on the land. Pretty much. You know what I mean? You can build your dream home. You can build a tiny home. You put your RV out there. You can go hunting, whatever. So this they haven't sold yet because maybe they're asking too much, okay? But if you offered seller financing on that kind of property, you'd be doing really, really amazing. So if I were to sell this with seller financing, I would get at least 10% down, maybe 20% down. So the loan, I'd get, if I sell it for 90 grand, I'm going to get 18 grand down, right? So 90,000 minus 18,000. So the loan amount would be 72 grand, right? $72,000. And we would do at least 10 years. So we'll do 120 months. And we would be charging about 10.9% interest. And we would be collecting about $987. I'm going to write this number down. $987 a month. We'd be collecting $987 a month from our buyer. Okay? Now, what if you want to partner with me on this deal, we can buy the deal, but what would we be buying it for? Well, if we're listing it for 90, we wouldn't be paying more than $45,000 for it, okay? So let's just say we are borrowing 45 grand. What would our payment be? Okay, and we're doing it for 10 years. And let's just say we're paying the same. Let's just say we're paying the same interest, 10% interest. Our payment would be $594 a month. So what's our cash flow? Our cash flow without using any of our own money, $987 minus $594, we'd be cash flowing $393 a month without using any of our own money on this deal. I'm using OPM, right? Other people's money. So the land is the best passive way to get passive cash flow on this deal. And here's something else that you got to think about. We could sell this note at 80% of its value. So we're buying it. What did I say we're going to buy it for? We're going to buy it for 45 grand, right? We can sell it. We can sell that note for 80% of what it's worth. So let's go here. If the note is $72,000, because that's what we're financing, $72,000 times 0.8, we can sell that note for $57,600 to a note buyer. Sometimes it's 80% of the note value, the value of the note, or sometimes it's 80% of the value of the piece of land. It just kind of depends on who you're working. But let's be conservative here. It's 80% of the value of the note. You can sell it for 56 grand. We bought it for how much? 45 grand? So we could make $12,600 profit on that deal using other people's money. Using other people's money. Do you see the power of this? Okay. We're talking about buying it for 45, selling it for 90. So you're making an offer at 50% of what the property's worth. You could either just wholesale it, bring the deal to me. I'll fund the deal in 30 days and we'll split the net profit 50-50 after we wholesale it. But you could also, if you wanted to, buy and hold it. So now the financing is in place. You buy it with financing and you sell it with financing, and you're going to cash flow, what did we say? $390, almost $400 a month. Is that right? Something like that. I don't remember my numbers. We can cash flow a lot of money from that without using any of our own money. When we sell them on owner financing, guys, listen, if you were to sell this land on owner financing, for every one call you get from a cash buyer, you're going to get 5 to 6 calls from an owner financing buyer, because banks just do not lend money on these deals. Let's send some marketing out. So how do we find people who own land in Pickens County? Well, if you're an inner circle student, I'm going to give you up to 5,000 free buyer and seller leads every month. Okay. But if you're not an inner circle student, that's fine. I'm going to show you how you can get them on your own. And one of the tools I like to use is Priced. By the way, I'm going to rewind a little bit. I'm going to show you something I really like about Priced if you're a student, and it's research, where you can actually find a lot of really cool things from them. If you go to research, I'm going to scroll down and let's look at Georgia. And we can now filter. I don't know how many counties there are. There's 159 counties in Georgia. What if we filtered here by sold comps? And I only want to see the counties that have more than 200 sold comps, let's say. That means that brings it down to 75. Let's add another filter. Let's do days on market. Less than, I don't know, let's do days on market. Let's do less than 200. Oops, 200. 75 down to 37 counties. So now we have, boom, this is a great way to filter these things out. Now there's 37 counties here that have a lot of solds and few days on market. Let's do another one. Oh, the sold to listed ratio. We were just looking at that before, weren't we? Sold to listed ratio. Let's do, the higher the number, the better, right? So let's do greater than 0.5. What happens? Oh, we still have 37. So they almost all of them do. All right, so let's do greater than 2. 30 counties. Let's do greater than 2.5. 22 counties. Greater than 3. 15 counties have a higher sold to listed ratio of 3. Which means what? See this column right here, sold to listed ratio? That means these are counties where there's a lot of activity, a lot of sold comps. And you see the last 3 months, 6 months, sold to for sale ratio, total 12 months is good. You can see total out of county parcel owners. That's who we like to target. That's good. And the final thing is, let's just say the population change. Let's do one more. Population change is greater than 0. So this is a county that has people coming into it, not leaving it. 8 counties. There we go. 8 counties meet our criteria. Now, I don't know if Pickens County is in here. Nope, it's not. But these are another 8 great counties that you could look at. Bartow, Bullock, Carroll, Effingham, Jasper, Madison, Oconee, Oglala. We could do other things too, because the most important of these filters is sold comps. By the way, if you want more information on price and you want to sign up for it, just joemccall.com/priced, joemccall.com/priced, PRYCD. So we could change this. We could say, all right, give me sold to sale, sold to listed ratio greater than 2, and give me sold comps greater than 300. Now I have 17, okay? And from here, then you can kind of play with it some more. And let's see if Pickens County is in here now. No, it's still not. Maybe Pickens County isn't that great of a county. But this is telling me now I have a lot of properties that are selling quickly, days on market. What if we did days on market less than 175? 13 counties. What if I did less than 150? 4. All right, so these are counties. There's not a lot of, we're looking total out-of-county parcels. You know, you can see this. There's only 7, 8, 9. There's only about 10 or 11,000 out-of-county owner parcels. And when you remove duplicate owners and you filter out government owners and things like that, you might only get maybe 4,000 or 5,000 to mail in these 4 counties. But yeah, these are great places. The month-over-month price change is going up. Population is good. Population change. You see what I'm doing here? You can even filter by population per square mile. So the less condensed, the better. Pickens County, Georgia. Now, I only want bigger land, right? I only want bigger properties. And normally when you go under an acre, you're going to get properties that have HOAs and restrictions. Now, this rule completely changes if you're doing deals in Florida, for example, where there's a lot of infill lots and you're wanting to target 0.23 acres. But if you're targeting bigger lots, you want to do like minimum 1 acre. And let's do maximum 40.01. And we want to look at pricing in like 1 acre increment. Let's do 1 to 5.01, 0.25 acre increment. And let's do 5.01 to 10.01 in a 0.5 acre increment, and let's do 10.01 to 40.01 in a 1 acre. What that does is it breaks down the pricing and those kinds of and the downloads in that kind of a increment. Okay, scroll down here. I only want people that don't live in the county, so I'm excluding anybody who lives there. And then I'm going to go down here to last sale date. I want somebody who bought the property at least 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. All right, so everybody that bought before February 1st, 2014. Click search. And let's see what happens here. All right, you have 1,051 in just that one county. This is why I told you before you want to pick 5 counties at least, right? So you can go after a bunch of different counties. You can see here we can adjust the offer price maybe 35%, let's say. And let's sort this by data tree owner records. So most of the properties are between 1 to 1.24. We're kind of looking for an even distribution here. And again, the great thing about priced is I can look at comps for all of these properties. So the properties that are between 1 to 1.24 acres, look at all these comps that I have here. From Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, Lands of America. So this is a property that's sold. If I click Zillow, it takes me to that property. This is a 1 acre, sold for $7,000 in this area. Now some of these are duplicates. That's the tricky thing about this, because this is the same property probably right here from Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com. And you can export all of these into a spreadsheet to play with them. Okay, so if we wanted to get this list, it's about 10 cents a record. We could download all of these, and it gives you different pricing schemes. I usually do Geo. And then we're going to download them into a spreadsheet. We'll do a little filtering with them, filtering to remove out of the country owners, things like that. All right, so then what do? We have this great list. We're going to send them a postcard. I'm going to log right here into my FreedomSoft account. I do all my direct mail inside of FreedomSoft. I love it. It's amazing. And I'm just going to show you one of our campaigns here. We're doing some marketing right now in Taney County, Missouri. Can you say Missouri? We only pulled a list of 775, and we sent these postcards, and we got a 5.9% response rate, which is insane. And right now, properties shows zeros. These are contracts. We actually have one under contract right now, but my business partner has not made it a property yet. But anyway, we're getting about leads for $11, $12 a lead. And a lot of these are dead. We're following up with a bunch of them, but we've got 3 different. Well, we've been sending offers to people, so we're following up with them, and we've got 2 that have asked an offer, and we have 1 under contract. And so we're just playing phone tag with a lot of these people. And I'll show you the postcard we sent to them. Let's look at one of these here. This is why I love FreedomSoft, because it tracks everything in here. This is the postcard that we sent. It's real ugly. Hey, we've been trying to reach you. We've recorded a brief message about your property. It's the cheapest, ugliest, stupidest postcard, but it works really, really well. We have other postcards that we send. I'll show them to you right here. All of my direct mail is in FreedomSoft. I have a custom signature edition of FreedomSoft. This is one postcard we like to send. You can't tell it from here, but it gives them a range. It basically says, hey, we'd like to buy your property, and we'll pay you between $25,000 and $35,000. If you're interested, give us a call. So we send that. We also send, this one is working really well for us right now. This is in my course. So we've been sending this, and it's my students love it, the ones that are doing it, because it's great. What happens is through the window envelope, you see a check in there, and it's made out to the person, and it has a dollar amount on there. So, hey, my name is Joe with company. We're the premier real estate investing company in the area. This check reflects a cash offer for your 1.2 acre vacant lot. Ba, 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 ba. Boom, we can close in 30 days, but Joe, I can't close in 30 days. I don't have the money. Well, yeah, you do, because you can partner with me on your deals, right? All right, so again, if you want to partner with me, you got to be a member of Inner Circle, and you can get my book and get a 7-day trial to Inner Circle at joemccall.com/IC1. That stands for Inner Circle 1. But that just means you can partner with me on deals. Back to this. This check letter works really, really good. You're going to get maybe, you're not going to get like the 5-6% that we're getting with a postcard, but you're going to be getting 1%, 1% to 2% response rates on these. So what do you do if you offer too much? By the way, how do you figure out what to offer? Glad you asked. That's why I like Priced. Priced will tell you, okay, if it's between 1 to 1.24 acres, they're suggesting you offer, based on this sliding percentage here, if you do it at 35%, they're suggesting you offer, and I usually go up a little bit higher. I'll do 40%, let's say. So they're saying you should offer $11,845 per acre. So if it's a 1.2 acre property, 1.2, you do 1.2, let me see here, 1.2 times 11,845. So I would, in my check letter, I would tell the seller I'll pay you $14,214 for your property. If you're interested, call me. And that phone number right there goes to FreedomSoft. My FreedomSoft gives you numbers, and that goes to voicemail, and you can text them back and all of that stuff. So that's kind of how we like to do it. Make sense? Is that cool? Yeah. So we're going to, number one, we're going to go to LandWatch, find the best states, make a list of 20 counties, go through Zillow, look for actives and solds, find the ones with the most solds, and then the ones with the best for sale to active or active to sold ratio, right? We're going to get a list of 5 counties. Maybe you can do some research in Priced using that research tool right here. You're going to get a list from Priced, or if you're in Inner Circle, we'll give you up to 5,000 free leads every month if you're in Inner Circle. Then what do? You're going to take that spreadsheet. You're going to either upload it into your FreedomSoft account, and we'll help you set all of this up if you're a member of Inner Circle. And so you can just you could even send a letter if you want. If you don't want to do a postcard, I recommend just alternating between them. Or you can send a postcard. And there's other companies that we use to do direct mail. We have a whole resource inside of Inner Circle. I'm calling it here the Marketing Discount Club. So we work with other marketing companies that will do your direct mail for you. They'll give you cold calling VAs for you if you want. They'll do your text blast marketing for you if you want. And so we gotta give you all of that. So if you don't want to use FreedomSoft, we give you other tools and resources. Okay. We also work with a company we just started, and she's doing some marketing for me right now in some markets in Florida. And we're testing a brand new marketing piece that I'm so excited about. But she does complete done for you where she'll get the list and send the mail for about, depending on how many credits you buy, for about 90 cents to $1 per letter. Now, if you're only doing a little bit, it's like $1.40, $1.50 a letter. If you're buying more, like up to 4,000 at a time, it works out to be about 97 cents. Everything all done for you. So, okay, there's other things you can do there. All right, so now the leads, you send out these postcards. We send everybody to that phone number we put in there, sends them to a voicemail. Okay, that voicemail comes in to, for us, we like to use FreedomSoft. So if I get a lead, let's just look at one of the leads that have come in recently in one of my campaigns. So if the voicemail comes in, you listen to the voicemail here. And if you wanted to, I could just call this guy right now. I could click on his phone number, and it's calling him from, this is a campaign, Brunswick County. Okay, so this is a while ago. We did some marketing in Brunswick County, North Carolina. And about 3 months ago, somebody got our letter or postcard, and they're just now calling us. And so if I wanted to, from here, I could call them, but it's calling them from the number that they called before. So at every campaign that I'm in, I have a unique phone number. And so it's calling them back from that phone number right here. So I got a special 910 phone number from Brunswick County. And I can say, hey, do you have any property you want to sell? So the way we set it up again is a postcard sends people to a voicemail. They call us, we capture their phone number, and then we talk to them. And then we ask them a bunch of questions, and we send them an offer. How do we send an offer? It's really simple. Basically what we're doing is we're going to look at the property. Like I have in my course, a really simple, I have a software and a calculator spreadsheet. It kind of does this for you, okay? Basically, this is how we do it. We're going to look at what can we list this property for, and then we subtract all of our profits. So if we can buy this property for 90 grand, let's say we're going to list the property for $90,000. We want to make at least a $15,000 wholesale fee. We'll pay a realtor 8% commissions. I'm very generous on my commissions, okay? I might even sometimes give them a bonus if they sell it in 30 days. Are we going to borrow any private money? If we are, we can work that in here. Let's say we are. Let's say we're going to pay $3,000 in interest to for private money. And let's figure, 2% oops factor. We're going to hire somebody to do professional photos and drone footage, so we'll pay $500 for that. And let's be conservative, we have $2,000 for closing costs. So this tells us that we can offer $60,500. That's at 67% of the list price. But we have a general rule of thumb. We're never going to offer more than 50%. Now, I might do this, but this is outside of my buy box, okay? We're not going to lend money and partner with you on a deal that it's at 67% of what we can sell it for. So we will give you 45 grand. So I would offer 45 grand for this deal. And again, you might think I'm crazy. You might think this is ridiculous, but 1 out of every 30 offers, in my experience, will get accepted at the 50% number. Okay? So we're going to send an offer for 45 grand. That is it. That's how we do it. Let's say we're going to sell the deal for 25 grand. Well, I'm probably okay with the $7,500 profit on that deal because it's a little smaller. I'm going to pay a realtor 10%. I'm not going to use any private money. I have a 4% oops factor, and we can close these deals for cheaper. So there, I'm going to offer 12 grand, 12 to 12,500. So you just kind of work. It's so simple to make the offers. You don't have to worry anymore about ARV and estimate repairs and all of that. It's just, this is what I can sell it for pretty aggressively. And then I'm going to subtract my profit, and I'm going to subtract my my money, realtors, expenses, and all of that, closing costs. And I'm going to offer that. That's how you do it. Simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. How do you determine how you're going to advertise the property? Well, let's just take a look. I'm going to show you how I like to do this. I like to go to homes.com, and we're in Pickens County, right? Pickens County, Georgia. Let's look for vacant land in Pickens County right now that has been on the market for over 90 days. I'm going to go to all filters here. We're looking at land. Cool. And I want to, let's do days on market longer than 3 months and a price reduction in the last 30 days. Okay, here we have 13 properties in Pickens County that have been on the market over 9 months and had a recent price reduction. In fact, let's do price reduction any. So they've had price reductions sometime. There's 192, and we could sort this by newest if we wanted to, okay? Let's say we want to find a property that we could possibly sell. We could make an offer on and buy. I'm looking for unrestricted land. This tells me it's probably in a subdivision. Oh, and let's do 1+ acres, because I don't want properties in subdivisions, and that eliminates a lot of them. All right, here we go. Let's just look at this first one. Excellent location. Good. I love this. It's been on the market now. And why do I like homes.com? Because I have the realtor's phone number, the listing agent, and their email. And sometimes you have two different numbers here. This one is different than that one. I don't understand why, but I have the realtor's information, and so I'm going to call them. I'm just going to call the realtor and say, hey, can you tell me about this property in Henderson Mountain Road? It looks really nice. Why hasn't it sold yet? I'm an investor. I'm looking for a property to buy. I buy and sell land on owner financing. Can you tell me about this property? By the way, Karen, I don't know if this will work for you, but if you're open to it and if your broker allows you to do it, you can represent me and get both sides of the commission. How negotiable is the seller on their price? How negotiable is the seller on their price? And I'm not expecting to get this deal at 50% just from one phone call with this realtor. I'm just hoping to establish a relationship, ask some questions, and I want to get on her list. If she finds other off-market properties, she can send them to me, and I'll pay her 10% commissions, 8 to 10% commissions. Okay. But the other thing I'm going to ask this realtor is, listen, by the way, I'm going to look at this property on Redfin, because when I'm talking to her, I want to look at comps. Okay. So I like when I'm looking at comps, I like to look at Redfin because I can click on this. This is a 4.72 acre property. I'm going to click on this map at nearby homes for sale. So it puts that property right in the center of the map. So again, I'm talking to this agent, right? And I want to ask her, is the seller negotiable on their price? What's the story? What's going on? And so I want to look at what are similar properties currently selling for in that area. So I'm going to set all my filters and parameters here. I want lot size. Ours is 4.2 acres, right? So let's do 1 to 10 acres. I just want all of them. And I'm looking at coming soon, active, and pendings. I'm going to start zooming out. And I'm going to sort from low to high. Zoom out. All right, so now it says I got 27 comps here. If that's too many, well, you could change your, let's do 2 to 10 acres. That brings me down to 10. All right, so that's maybe a little better, right? And so now I've got all these properties here, and guess what I can get? I can get the average price per acre, can I? So I'm going to, there's a tool I like to use. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. No, it doesn't. There's this thing that pops up. It's called, it's a Google Chrome extension from Pebble, and it basically shows me what the average price per acre is on all these properties. So I'm going to screenshot this and show it to you, what I'm looking at here. So you can't see the pop-up for my screen share for whatever reason, but this is what it does. It shows me now, just by looking at those actives, what the median price per acre and the average price per acre is. So the median price per acre is $15,680. Those are for active listings, right? Well, I'm also want to look at sold. So I'm going to change this to solds. Let's just go the last 3 months. There's only a few of them. 6 months. There's a few more. Let's go the past year. All right, so now I have 11 properties. Let's look at this again. I'm looking at solds, land, within the last year, between 2 to 10 acres. Okay, there's 11, and what's the average or median price per acre of those? I'm going to do that Pebble Scraper again here. All right, so now you can see from solds, I have 18,637 median, or average 17,193. So just looking at, now I have an average price per acre, you know, for actives and for solds. And when I'm talking to this agent is asking 129,800, right? 129,800, and it's a 4.72 acre lot. Where's my calculator? 129,800 divided by 4.72. The seller is asking, right, 27,500 an acre. But the average list price per acre right now is $15,680. So do you see when I'm talking to this realtor, I'm just going to ask her like, well, tell me about this, because I'm looking at a bunch of actives here and I'm seeing like, oh, there's one that's sold almost the same size. sold for 35 grand and it's on water. So how negotiable is the seller on their price? And the other thing I'm asking this agent is, listen, if I'm going to make them an offer, I'm going to need to be at, because I'm thinking if I'm going to sell this thing, I'm going to need to sell it for maybe 17,000 an acre. 4.72 times, I'm going to have to sell it for 16,000 an acre. I'm going to have to sell it for 75, right? Just looking at quick numbers here, I'm going to have to sell it for 75,000. And if I put it in here, and I want to make at least $10,000 profit, and I pay a realtor 8% commissions, and I have an oops factor of a couple grand, I'm going to have to maybe offer 37 to 55. I'm going to have to offer about 37,500 for this deal. So I'm going to tell the realtor, man, if I make an offer on this, I'm going to have to, looking at these sold comps and these active comps, I'm going to have to be in like the why, this is a bigger property for 44,000 right now. How is the seller negotiable on their price at all? So you see what I'm doing there? See what the realtor says, and she might say, well, just make an offer and I'll tell the seller, so I'll send an email to the realtor and, see where we go. Like this thing, the realtor may not, I'm telling the realtor, listen, you may not know this, but the seller needs to know this because they're asking 129 for this. Why would I want to pay 129 for their 4.72 property when I can buy this 5.6 acre property for 44,000? But I might say to the seller and to the realtor, I might be able to give them more if they would do some kind of seller financing. Okay, back to the steps here. Let me figure out where we are here. Number one, we're going to find the best counties. Number two, we're going to pull a list of vacant landowners who live outside of the county and who have owned their properties for over 10 years. We're going to send them, number three, a postcard or a letter or a check letter. We're going to send them something in the mail to get them to call us. We don't want them to go to our website. We don't want them to fax us. We don't want them to email us. We just want them to call us. And I usually say text or call our 24-hour recorded voicemail. No one will answer. Just call us, okay? Then we're going to get their phone number. We're going to call them back. We're going to talk to them. We're going to ask them a bunch of questions, and we're going to send them an offer. And I just showed you how we send offers. We look at what could we sell it for, and we subtract our costs, and that's how we make an offer. Then what? Let's say the seller says, okay, I will sell my deal to you for $45,000 or whatever. Now what do? Well, bring me the deal. Bring me the deal. I'll provide the money. You can close in 30 days. You don't have to stretch it out 90 days. You don't have to pray and hope that you find a buyer for it. I'll do all of that work for you. Bring me the deal. We'll look at if it's a good deal. And if it's not a good deal, by the way, wouldn't it be nice to know that? If I'm not going to buy the deal, then you probably shouldn't buy it either. But if I say, yeah, you know what? I'd like to partner with you on that deal. You don't have to partner with me. You could say, all right, great. Thanks, Joe. I'm going to do it on my own. More power to you. Awesome. Way to go. Keep me updated. Give me a testimonial. I'd love to see your progress and your success. I hope you crush it. But you might be like, okay, listen, for my first deal, let's do it together. Let's partner together on the deal. So what we'll do is then we will provide the money. We will close on the deal. We'll buy it. And then we'll turn around and sell it. Guys, it's so much easier to sell the deals after you already purchased it, right? Makes everything so much easier. So when you go to the sellers, you can actually tell them, hey, we can close in 30 days. We have the cash. And my business partner and I, we've done tons of deals all over the U.S., et cetera, et cetera. So now money doesn't need to be an issue or a concern in the back of your mind anymore. Okay? Now what? Well, we're going to, depending on how it all works out, we'll close on the deal. We'll do the work of finding a realtor, listing it, and selling it. And then at the end of the day, after all of our costs, we will split the profits 50-50 on the deal. Sound simple and cool? What are the costs associated? Well, we have realtor commissions we have to pay. Usually we pay generous commissions, 8 to 10%. We have closing costs on the A to B and the B to C when we buy it and when we sell it. We have closing costs. We have realtor. I already said that. Photography. We like to get good photography, pictures. If it's a big enough margin of a deal, we might go in there and maybe, clean out some of the scrub brush in there, maybe do a perk test or a survey depending on the area to make sure it's really actually buildable or not. Oh yeah, so if we're using my own money or we're using a private investor's money, there is a cost of capital. The person we're borrowing the money from, either my private lenders or me, my own bank account, my own piggy bank, will pay the private lender an interest rate on that money for depending on how long we use it. And on average, on a deal that we're buying for 50 grand, we're going to spend about 3 to 4 grand in interest to that private investor. So if we're shooting for, $10,000-$20,000 in profit. So after all those costs, we're shooting for $10,000 to $20,000 in net profit at the end of the day, and that's what you and I split 50-50. Does that sound cool to you or what? Now, let's say you're going to do it on your own. Let's get back to this episode. What do you do if you're going to do it on your own? All right, so if you're going to do it on your own, I would suggest closing on that deal as fast as you can, right? If you can't, go ahead and you take the whole 90 days. That'll give you time to find another buyers that you can either wholesale your deal to them or assign your contract to them, right? Or you can use, find your own private money lender, hard money lender, and buy the deal and then turn around and sell it same day closing or whatever. But then what you're going to do is you're going to, couple things. You have it under contract. Now is where your due diligence starts. This is where you're going to go in and see, do I actually really have a good deal or not? And you're going to get on the phone and you're going to call realtors who have sold vacant land recently in that area. You're going to call 20 of them. You're going to say, hey, I got a deal here that I'm trying to sell, and I want to know if you have a buyer for it, and I'll pay you 10% commissions if you have a buyer, if you can bring me a buyer. So you're going to call 20 realtors who have sold vacant land recently in that area. The next thing you're going to do the same time is you're going to find who are the buyers that are buying properties in that area. So let's just take a look at my screen here. And let's say you've got this deal under contract in 30143, okay? And this is Jasper, Georgia. Let's just look at Jasper, Georgia. So I'm going to go to PropStream. I'm going to log in here. Close your eyes. This is the city of Jasper. I'm going to go to filter, vacant land. I know you can't see that drop down, but I just selected vacant land. There's 4,900 records there. And I'm going to do ownership info. I want to see who has bought a property here in the last 6 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Look at that. There's 161 transactions in the last 6 months in that city of Jasper area of vacant land in the last 6 months. If you wanted to, you could filter it down even more. You could say, all right, show me all of the ones that were investors, so corporate owners. Boom, 42. And you could even say, all right, show me all the ones that own at least 5 other properties. And there's only one, so maybe that's not a good filter to use. There you go. There's 42 investors. Okay, so this one we can see New Hope Home Builders bought this property. And sometimes you can see linked properties, and for some reason in some counties you can't see that. But you can click linked properties and see all the other properties that they own. But this guy out of somewhere, Mountain View Drive, Georgia, owns this property. They bought it 1 month ago. And if you go into the county records, many times you can pull the mailing address of that owner. So just go into this county, Jasper or Pickens County, into the website there. And how do you do that? Let me just show you. There's the APN number. I like to use a tool called LandGlide. Landglide.com. It's like $20 a month or something. I'm going to paste that APN number in there. You have to delete the dashes. And it's this property. All right, click on it. And I go to county link right here. All right, so there's the address of the owner. Now this, I might be looking at a different property. I'm just going through this really fast. But sometimes, you can't get the owner's address for some reason in some counties. But then look the property up in the county records and you can get the owner's address right there. Now, what am I talking about here? I'm talking about finding all of these guys who bought properties in the last 6 months and skip trace them, call them, and or call the realtors who sold these properties. Again, like I talked about before. This guy out of Jasper, Paradise Invest, bought this property 3 months ago. And you can send, now we have their mailing address, right? So you can send them a letter. You can skip trace them and call them, find out, okay, who's at this mailing address? You could, you can find out is that a house or an office, and you can probably send them a letter. You can skip trace that number. You can call them. You can also go to MLS details and find the listing agent's contact information right here. And you can contact the listing agent. But then you just say, hey, I got this property in this area. Would you be interested in buying it? I see you bought this one for whatever, and you might have to go into the county records to see. I see you bought this one for $22,400, and it's a 1 acre property, let's say. I have a 2 acre property that I'm trying to sell for $25,000. You wouldn't be interested in that, would you? So what am I trying to say here? You get a property under contract. Now you have 3 months for due diligence. And what you're looking for, does it have good road access? Is it usable? Is it in a flood zone or floodplain or not? Wetlands? Is it in a restrictive HOA? What are the restrictions in the HOA? Does it have utilities? Is it on a paved road or not? Like all that stuff. The only real deal killers are usually two things. If it doesn't have access, simple, easy road access, then pass. The second one is if it's in a real restrictive HOA, then I'd probably pass on that. And there's 3. The third thing is if it's in probate. If it doesn't have clear title, too much of a pain in the butt, I just pass on those, okay? But then if it looks good, now you start marketing it, okay? Now you start, number 1, you call realtors who have sold vacant land in that area recently. Call them all up. Call at least 20 of them. Then you go to PropStream and you find who are the people that actually bought the land. And then you're going to call them and see if they're looking to buy more. Make sense? Now what do? You send everything to the title company. You get an offer from the buyer. You have a contract with the seller, a contract with the buyer. You go to the title company and you either close, double close, or you do an assignment. I've done plenty of both. And you make some money and you rinse and repeat. That's how you do vacant land. Now you can also sell vacant land with owner financing with payments. So when you're advertising and marketing a property, and I forgot about that. I'll talk about where and how to advertise a property here in a second. You can sell it for cash or owner financing. For every 1 call that you get from a cash buyer, you're going to get 5 or 6 calls from owner financing buyers. So it's way faster and easier to sell with owner financing, and the cash flow is amazing. It's awesome. You should do that if you can. Okay, so where do you advertise properties? I like to list them on the MLS is the main thing. Go to brokerless.com, and advertise a property on the MLS there. Facebook Marketplace. So first thing you do is you get a business page, make it personal, put your picture on there, and put your property on your Facebook business page, because from there you can put it into different Facebook groups or whatnot. You don't even need a website, guys. You can just send people to that Facebook page post of the details of your property. So number 1, get active in some local buy, sell, trade Facebook groups and advertise your properties there. There are Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace, all that. Second, there's a couple great websites that I like to advertise properties on, landmodo.com and landflip.com. So check those 2 out. You have to pay for that, but it's a lot cheaper than land.com. The land.com websites, that's expensive. That can get up to $200, $500 a month. But you do get interest there at land.com. Where else? Craigslist, the local newspaper. You can put signs out in the property. That's a great way to find buyers. But bottom line, if I haven't found a buyer yet by calling 20 realtors and calling buyers who have bought land recently in that area, then it's probably not a good deal. And if I put it on a website like brokerless.com, put it on the MLS.com, and if I haven't gotten much interest in a couple weeks, then something is wrong. It's usually just overpriced. There's only 2 reasons why property doesn't sell. Number 1, it's overpriced, or number 2, you're not putting it in front of the right people. So if it's priced right, and if you're putting it in front of the right people, you're going to sell it quickly. Your average time on market should not be ever more than 3 months. Oh, my buddy's calling me, Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy, you're on speaker. How are you?
Joe, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Good. I'm on YouTube right now with millions of people watching me. And I have you on speaker. No, seriously, I do. But not millions. I've got maybe 1 or 2 people watching me on YouTube right now.
Oh, perfect. Well, you want to comp out a deal that I've got a verbal on that I think makes sense. Is that what you're doing, or what do you?
Yeah, if you want, we can look at a deal right now. But I was just going to ask you real quick, since you're on speakerphone, how are things going with? I was just talking earlier about a little bit about what we're doing in Southwest Missouri. How are things going there?
They're going well, actually, really well. We've got 1 deal completely under contract, and I think you only mailed like 750.
Yeah.
Postcards, so it wasn't a huge volume. I just talked to another guy that actually this is a really good deal that he verbally has agreed to. I do want to check with the county to make sure there's nothing super crazy, utilities are reasonable, that they don't have anything on file that would prevent a reasonable deal. But I think that one's going to be a really good deal. He agreed to 35, and it's probably worth 70 to 80, somewhere in there. So I think that'll be a really good one. Nice.
And is that in, because we've done 2, I don't want to mention the counties, but we've done marketing in 2 counties now. The first one was the smaller one.
Yeah.
The second one, are we getting any leads from that yet?
Not yet. So
Okay.
I was just on in the program, and there's nothing that came across yet.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I had one other deal that was going to go under contract, but they had something with their disability that they can't have that income this year. So technically we would have had, I guess, 3 out of 750 postcards. I think that's pretty decent numbers.
Very, very good numbers. But we have one for sure, maybe 2 now, right?
Yes, one for sure, 100%. That's actually a really good deal. It's only 2.1 acres, but it's actually 2 developed lots that were within city limits. So we have it under contract for 25. Each lot could probably be broken apart. Well, I mean, it's already broken apart, but you could probably sell each lot for maybe 30 to 40.
Dang, that's awesome. Love it. I love this business, Jeremy.
I'll tell you what, I like the people. You know what?
Yeah.
I've chatted with a lot of people, and it's just been really good. So, and we can't help all of them out. Sometimes there's some roadblocks, but overall it's been really good.
Nice. Well, what did you call me for? Did you want me to look at a deal with you? Or I know you didn't call to talk to my millions of people watching me right now, but.
Well, that one that the guy wants 35, I think if you're fine with that, I think we're probably going to have to buy and close on that one, which is fine. I have no problem funding that deal, and then we just would turn around and relist it.
We could do it ourselves, but I prefer not to tie up my capital, and you don't have to tie up yours either. If you don't want, I've got a good guy. So that was Jeremy. He's one of my acquisition guys. We used to do a lot of houses together, and we had breakfast about a month ago, and he's like, hey, we kind of stopped working because he's a lifestyle guy like me. He doesn't want to work that much. But he's like, let's do some land. I've heard you talk about this stuff. What do you think about doing some land together? So we've been doing, like we were doing before with houses. Now we're doing it with land, and he likes the Southwest Missouri area because he vacations there and he wants to buy some land of his own out there. And so we just started doing some direct mail. We're only about 3,000 postcards in. The first 1,000, we got 2 deals from it. One for sure, one maybe, one that canceled. The next 2,000 postcards or so, the leads they're going to be coming in this week about that. So this is so much fun. I love doing these videos and talking about this stuff, teaching you, because I want to do more deals and I want you to do more deals. So this is kind of a selfish play here, but I feel like doing these videos are going to help you as well, right? So let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this stuff, what you think, and let me know if you like this content, if you want more of it, if you want me to do more things like this. Let me know. If you're a member of my inner circle, I do twice a week now, a weekly coaching call and a deal review call. I'm calling that deal review call Deals, Deals, Deals. And on Mondays, I'm going to be looking at deals. You're going to be submitting them in advance. I'll look at them, or if you're on live, we'll look at it right there. And we'll be broadcasting it live too, and you'll see it. I'll look at your deal, comp it for you, tell you what I would offer, what I would do with it. And I'm calling it Deals, Deals, Deals because maybe this would be a deal that I would want to buy with you or partner with you on it. Or there may be somebody else in the group watching that would want to partner with you on that deal as well. So I just want to talk about deals. I wrote it while I was flying from the Bahamas home, and you can get it for free before I sell it on Amazon. Now it's rough draft right now. It's about 35, 40 pages, but on a Google Doc. And if you put it into a book, it'll be like 100 pages or something. And you can get it before I sell it on Amazon for $20 or whatever, if I do sell it. But you can get it right now for free, joemccall.com/IC1. And on the thank you page, we'll email you the PDF of the book. On the thank you page, you get an invitation to join my inner circle. It's just $1 for 7-day trial for $1. And then it's $97 a month. And I give you in there software. I give you leads. So you don't have to use PropStream if you don't want. We'll give you the properties there. I give you money. You partner with me on deals, coaching, training, courses, all this good stuff. joemccall.com/IC1. All right, we got to wrap this up, guys. Appreciate you all. We'll see you. Take care, everybody.